Just got beat by a pretty good basketball team, and we just these guys have the guys on our side, that is, just had no steam. You know, we've played on unbelievable emotion and passion and toughness and all year, and unfortunately today we just didn't have that oomph that we need for us to be a good basketball team. But with all that said, I don't want to take any credit away from Georgia Tech. They just came out here and they were playing real good basketball coming down the stretch, and they've continued to do that.
Mike and Sin, it just seemed like Tech was hitting everything they put up in the first half. Was it just something going in with the defense, or were they just making shots?
I think they got a lot of open looks. Got to the free throw line, second chances. When people get into the free throw line, they get second chance shots. And they starting to make them. The rim gets bigger and the confidence gets bigger. So I think that's what hurt us.
Mike, I'm sure you'll have a lot of time to reflect later, but obviously not the turnout that you would want to have in your final game. But could you just describe the past 4 years and what this program has meant to you?
I mean, it's been amazing. Nothing that I regret being here. Just have this guy next to me and have at my back. It's just been unbelievable ride. And I know he always gonna be there for me after my college career. And I'm gonna still around, and he knows that. And I'm gonna still taking care of the guys and trying to help this program to become better. But I mean, it's kind of sad that it's my last game, but it is what it is. Now I have to go to the next level, and whatever I have in my future, I just have to do whatever I can.
First, Sid, where this program has come since you arrived here and since Carrera's arrived here, what do you need to do this offseason to continue to build off the momentum this program has built this season?
I think we just do what we've been doing since I've got here, since Mike got here, and it's just back to work. Getting better on your game. Guys getting stronger. Just do what we do. Nothing else to say. We prepare for the season as much as we can, and when it comes around, be ready and come attack it again.
For both guys, can either of you explain why the lack of fire and emotion tonight?
No, I can. I mean, I felt like we was practicing pretty well all week, and
it was it was just a bad day. It was we couldn't make anything. They were making everything, and we couldn't make anything.
Sin, what have the three seniors meant to you over the last few years?
It meant a lot. The four seniors, they all bring something different to our team. Minnie works harder than anybody in the off season. In practice, he's always teaching, always helping. Lamo is one of the smartest person on the team, as far as basketball wise. The way he knows the game, and he's taught me to learn the plays and learn the game. And Mike just relentless on the court. You might not know what's going on, but he's going to give you his 100%, and he's always got your back. And they all like brothers to me, and Still, I can't forget about Still. Still helped me grow so much. He probably had the most influence on me since I've been here, since the first day I stepped on the court. He helped me grow in the weight room and got me better.
Mike, you guys were one win away from setting a school record for wins. Just can you describe, just the run that you guys went on this year, even though it wasn't the finish that you guys wanted?
I mean, everything happened for a reason. I was saying it every time, and I know we wanted to break that record and leave our names here, and there's in this campus in this university. But I know next year is another year. It's different guys, different players, and I know Senderos and all the juniors right now are gonna do a great job being the leaders of the team. And if they need help, they need my help. I'm always gonna be there for them, no matter what. I will never leave this team, no matter what, because I was one of the first ones. So I just love the coaching staff. I think, like I said before in the locker room, I think the coaching staff is one of the best coaching staff in America. And Scott, Coach Figures, Lamar, they have helped me grow so much, and in these 4 years, and it's just amazing how. And they have helped me a lot with my English too, so that's why I'll know a little bit more. But it's great. I'm glad that I came here. I didn't waste my time. I'm so happy, so happy. I know we didn't accomplish our goal this year. They was go to the NCAA tournament, but I just think that happens. I know that these guys are gonna be hungry for next year, and I know they will make it next year. Thank you.
Damn, it's 11:30 already.
Franco, what's the first step for you in this offseason? Do you immediately start working? Do you recruit? Do you take some time off? What do you do tomorrow and the next couple of weeks?
Tomorrow's a day of just reflecting and kind of gathering my thoughts. The season's long, full of emotion, and I've got to make sure that I gather my thoughts to where we understand that we accomplished a lot of firsts this year, things that haven't happened around here in a long time. Which, by the way, it'd be nice if some of those things would be on the front page of the newspaper rather than negativity. Because when you set school records for GPA, for community service, you beat the league champion on their court, you set a school record for wins in the regular season, you set a tie a school record for wins in a whole season, and all that good stuff continues to be reported on page 6. It's a shame that all the good's always kind of just assumed, and it's not reported with the same aggression that the one unfortunate incident gets reported. But I understand. That's the way the world works. But I'm real proud of our guys, and I've got to separate from the season and gather my thoughts, because that's what these guys depend on me to give them guidance, so they understand what their next step is if you're Michael Carrera. And the next step doesn't include playing basketball South Carolina anymore. And then the Senderises and everyone else. I've got to help them understand where we need to continue to get better so we can take another step in the right direction.
Kind of stay with that. Is that the first thing you say when you go in the locker room, those guys, just how special of a year all the way around? I know it's a quick take, but it's it was a great year all the way around.
Yeah, I mean, after the game, it's trying to make them understand those things as soon as the game's over, Brian. They're deflated. There's not much you can say when players know their season's over and they've invested as much as these guys have invested. That's going to really dig in that moment. But no, absolutely. Let them know that, hey, man, we as coaches, we couldn't be any prouder of what you guys have done, of your sacrifices to help. Anytime, I don't care what school you're at, anytime you got a group of guys that tie the school record, school's been playing ball over 100 years, ties the school record for wins in a season. Takes a lot of sacrifice by a lot of individuals to make that happen. That doesn't happen every day. And that's kind of what I let them know. I let them understand, and make them understand that even though we don't get to practice again as a team, that the investment that they've made will continue to resonate in that locker room for a long, long time. And that's the power of sacrifice, that you impact everyone, not just yourself.
Coach, you speak of that impact. Just what have the seniors meant to you in this program, and how tough is it to say goodbye to them now after their careers here?
Yeah, I mean, you don't say goodbye to them, because Michael stated it perfectly. As we continue to build and grow, those guys, their spirit, their voice, their character, it's not gone. They sacrificed and did it to invest it in the next guy. And that's, if you hear Sindarius, you understand how much he's learned from all four of those guys. And now Sindarius and that next group will carry that forward and then put their own flavor into it. And you keep building that way. But, Michael's toughness, that's never leaving our locker room. Limonis' ability to understand what we're trying to do coming out of a timeout, that's never leaving the locker room. And Douglas' relentless pursuit of getting better and helping the next guy get better, that's never leaving the locker room. Those traits. Brian Steele, who couldn't play this year, never once just came to practice and sat on the side, didn't say a word. He'd spend the whole practice talking to players relentlessly, just trying to do his part. That's the kind of sacrifice that when you have that never leaves your locker room. But I'm sorry, to clearly answer your part of the question there, as a coach, even though your connection with your players never ends, Ty Johnson, Brent Williams, now these guys, you always have a void because you don't get to coach that person again in a game. But you're always coaching each other in life, which is the beautiful thing, and that's what allows you to kind of put the game kind of behind you a little bit. I still have to advise guys that played for me 20 years ago as to what their next step in life is. That's the kind of commitment that you make to each other when you invest for one another. And that's not going to change with these guys. It's going to be the same thing. And they know that if they ever need me, they don't have to ask. They just got to tell me. They sacrifice a lot. We make them go to class. We make them lift. We make them practice hard. We make them accept every ounce of responsibility that comes their way. And when they don't accept it, we fight them to make sure they comprehend that they have to do right. Well, when they learn and they grow and they help you get better like these guys have, they've got me for the rest of their life. And that's how you do. At least that's how I do things.
You'll probably have a better answer after you reflect, but how would you characterize this year? I mean, you picked 7th in the league. You get a top 4 seed in the SEC tournament, make it to the second round of the NIT, just get short of the NCAA tournament. But how would you characterize the year that your guys had?
I'm not into numbers. I'm into what our guys gave. Our guys gave us every ounce of effort, mentally and physically, that their bodies and minds can give. That's why I didn't want to jump in when Phil asked the guys the question, but that's why our guys, see, when last Sunday went down, our guys were deflated. And we've tried real hard to get our guys to feel good about themselves. And they've tried real hard to make themselves feel good about what they've done. And I was hoping after the High Point game that it would happen. Our attitudes were good in practice. Our attention span was good in practice. Their genuine desire to help each other was real good. But I just saw that our tank was on empty, and that extra motivation that for us to be a good team, we had to play like, I can't say it right now, or my bosses will get mad, but something to the wall every possession. Those of us that know what I'm talking about. For us to be good, that's how we had to play. And that's okay, nothing wrong with that. That's who we were. And when we played that way, we proved 25 times that we were good enough. We didn't have that extra to be able to defeat a team like them, who the last 12, 13 games of the year, they've been playing their tails off. They're a very good basketball team. And we just, but it's the guys gave everything that their bodies and minds can absolutely give this team this year. And that's something that as a coach, that's what my job is to get them to give every day. And they've done that. And for that, I have an unbelievable amount of respect for those guys in the locker room. Scott, if I say something crazy, will you put me in the front page? Huh? No, I say good news, nothing gets reported. So if I do something crazy, maybe I can be popular. Okay, good.
In fact, speaking of possible good news, lots of national reports tonight that Brad Underwood has been named the head coach at Oklahoma State. What's your reaction and sort of a proud?
Is it official?
Pretty much. Everyone's reporting it.
They have introduced him? That is phenomenal. He's a Big 12 guy through and through. See, and he played for Jack Hartman. Jack Hartman is part of the Coach Iba family tree. The Ibas were so, it's Oklahoma State basketball, or the Ibas. And God, I'm so happy for him. Happy for him, his staff. Eric Pastrana on his staff. I've known Eric since the day he was born. His dad is from my neighborhood, and Eric was our GA at K-State, and Brad gave him a chance, and he's worked his tail off. Mike Boynton, Mike is a stud. I knew who Mike was, but I never met him until I came here, and I had to meet him to tell him that I wasn't retaining him. And even though I did not retain him, and being the proud Gamecock that he is, he continued to work to help us here, understand the campus, understand the people, and to see that those guys are just, the success, has allowed him to do that. And Brad's phenomenal. Brad's a real good basketball coach. I wish I could share some stories about our staff with Brad, because he's a character. But he's a real good basketball coach. So when I say character, I mean like hilarious. He keeps everyone loose. Everyone's in a good mood. The run he's been on at Stephen F. is incredible. If that is official, I'm ecstatic for him. No one deserves the opportunity more than him. He's loyal, he's honest, and he just works. That's why when we were at K-State, we succeeded. He was a big part of it. That's why when we came here, he helped us establish the groundwork for how we were going to be every day. I know our staff, we're all better because of Brad and our time around him. And Stillwater they got himself a heck of a basketball coach. He's going to, and that gets him close to his family, his mom, his wife's family. They're probably 2.5, 3 hours away from their hometown now. I just hope he doesn't go to Oklahoma Joe's very often. I don't think they'll be real happy if he ends up in there. But I'm happy. I had no idea. I knew that something was going on there, but I had no idea that was official. That must have broke like right when the game started or something. Yeah, that's awesome. That's phenomenal. I can't wait to get to my phone to call him and tell him how happy I am for him. He's earned everything that comes his way.
As you go out recruiting now, do you go out considering the suspended player situation? Do you go out recruiting thinking you've got to replace those guys, number one? And number two, with your contract situation, is it something that you'd like to get resolved quickly so that when you go recruiting, recruits can see a long-term commitment?
I'll answer the second one first. I've asked Coach Tanner to allow me the season to end before. I get very emotionally engaged in my decisions. I asked Coach Tanner, allow me for the season to end so I can then engage emotionally into that part. And the school has respected my wishes there. As far as recruiting, Phil, you follow this stuff pretty closely, so your numbers will probably be better than mine, but I think it's 1,300 transfers over the last 2 years in Division I basketball. I think that's kind of the number. If you don't recruit 24/7, 365, as if you got to fill 13 spots, with today's culture, you get left without players. So you have to constantly recruit. You can't stop recruiting. we've created just a culture where just guys just get up and leave as coaches. You have no idea you're in the middle of summer and the team you thought you had is not who reports, August the 20th or whatever it is. It's, we've created an unfortunate mindset to how to approach college. And here's the part that's funny to that. Everyone blames the college coaches. Oh, we're running players off. These kids transfer 4 and 5 times in high school. What do you think, they're going to get to college and have an epiphany and stay? It's the problem's at the high school level. It's not in college. So in college, we're forced to manage that dynamic. And, I hope we don't have to, replace so many people. But you don't know what's going to happen. All those are things that now, as I separate from the season, I got time to start addressing. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I've always recruited as to we have to fill 13 scholarships. We never stop. It's what I believe because I understand the dynamic of grassroots basketball right now. I understand the dynamic of 1,300 transfers in 2 years. That's an average of 4 per school. And, it's you got to be prepared. You don't know when, Bob Huggins 3 years ago, his 2 leading scorers walked in the middle of summer and left his campus. 2 leading scorers. Unbeknownst to him, had no idea that they were leaving, and now he's calling me about Tariq Phillip. Frank, you signed Tariq Phillip, blah, 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 blah. And then we have a great rule in the SEC where you can't recruit a junior college guy that transferred, so we couldn't recruit him because he had transferred junior colleges. So we helped Bob, we helped Hugs sign Tariq, and Tariq goes on and starts for him. But without Tariq, middle of summer, his 2 leading scorers, not his 9th and 10th man, his 2 leading scorers just said, you know what, we're leaving. Unbeknownst to him. And so you have to be prepared at all times because 1,300 is a lot of transfers. And if you don't recruit, then you get left with no players, and that's no fun. That's no fun. I'd rather you guys drive yourselves nuts as to who the 13 are than me show up a first day of class and have 6 guys. I'd much rather you be aggravated with that one, Phil, than me on the first day of class. Appreciate you guys.